Shut up, Jake. Tune into the MMA podcast every Tuesday night.
The wild style, always been a foul child. Realize, sucker, I be the coming like Noah.
The MMA podcast, Jake is the host. And since Ramsey's been in a wheelchair, the Aunt Jimmy show has been on a roll. I wanna say John Jones is a host, so I think that I'll pick up the phone and dial 213-457-3380. We got hot takes on the show. You get blood on your clothes if you're sitting in the front row. I throw on my gi and then I lace the hoops. I'll have Yao lying down cause he ain't the truth. And if Alan wasn't a cop, I'd mention you. And shout out to Ross Finkelstein the Jew. Cause according to you, you're an MMA guru. Approved Bisbing lost his hands count Dooku. If you're a fancy boy, you get a 2-minute slot. Mystery wants a title shot. So listen to the MMA podcast. Throw a high kick, but I block that. Call me Diaz, screaming George, where you at? I'm on the strap. But you know that I'll never tap. So listen to the MMA podcast. Throw a high kick, but I block that. Call me Diaz, screaming George, where you at? I want the strap. And you know that I won't tap. Mystery. The MMA podcast. Most of us just live and breathe this fighting shit.
Yeah.
Shut up, Jake.
Yeah.
Shut up, Jake.
Shout out to me. Word. Yeah. That's right. So you're my puff daddy there, just adding shit to the track, just peppering that track, dude. Old school, man. Mystery,
Bad boy, what's
dude.
up?
Yeah, man, that intro that you just heard featured my name, featured Jake from the MMA podcast name. Had Yell the Truth in there. Even the Eagle himself. I wish off the top of my head I knew the dude's Twitter handle. Jake, you're gonna have to help me out. Jake from the
Westland
MMA
Eagle.
podcast.
With their hippin' and the hoppin' and the bippin' and the boppin'.
Hell yeah, shout out to Mystery, who made that fucking song. If you want to follow him on Twitter, he is at Mystery Deja. The word mystery, then Deja. If you don't know how to spell mystery, then you're a dumb motherfucker. Also featured on the track was Yao the Truth. He's on Twitter at Yao_the Truth. Our boy Alan at Westland Eagle AH. Of course, the Jew at Ross Finkelstein. E before the L. As far as myself, you can follow us on Twitter at the MMA Podcast or the MMApodcast.com. Ramses, it is a pleasure to be on.
Yes, welcome everybody to the Word on the Street podcast, coming at you November 20th, the year 2014 AC after Chael. Unfortunately, the man is still retired, but he will be back, at which point it will become the year 2000 in Chael once again.
Hell yeah.
Also on the call with us, a good friend of mine, serving our country, well, serving the bankers that run our corrupt government, is none other than Davey Spears in Guam. Davey, how you doing? What do you hear? What do you say? Welcome to the Word on the Street podcast.
Hey, Word on the Street. Hey, thanks, Ramses, for having me on. Jake, what's happening? Y'all, everyone that's listening, you can find me on Twitter. That's DAVEI_BOI. That's Davey Boy. A big shout I want to give out to, and y'all need to be following this guy. He's not a real account, just so you know, but Steve Mazzagatti, that guy went off on Twitter during like the tough episode. Y'all need to like follow his tweets and follow that man. Shout out to him.
Wait, I missed it. What kind of shit was this fool saying, man? I think I even follow him, but I was convinced it wasn't actually him for real.
He was like during the episodes and stuff, like he was like, well, I think what he was doing was like he was just on his Twitter feed, and he was giving out the spoilers before, like, you know, everyone in America would see it because they had the basketball game going. So like he would like shout tweets like, hey, you know, Random wins by submission in the first round stuff. So like, got like a lot of people pissed off.
Why would he
and
do
they're
that?
And he's like, damn it, Steve, like, why'd you have to do this? And then like he responds, like, what's going on, guys? Like, I mean, you guys complain that I'm always late on calls and stuff like that. Jesus, you know?
That's a good one. That's a good burn. All right.
Yeah,
He must have been setting that up for a long time, though.
No, he probably was shit. So, but like the whole time during that show, like I wasn't really paying attention because like I turned on my notifications for this guy and he just like kept going on and on about like just dumb shit. It was actually pretty funny. You got just hashtag tough20 and then you'll see all these tweets from Steve Mazzagatti. It's pretty funny.
That reminds me, we haven't really seen Mazzagatti lately at the UFC events, and we also haven't seen Kim Winslow reffing events lately. I think the UFC has been kind of squeezing the juice a little bit on the commission there to make sure that these people, Winslow and Mazzagatti, two separate stories there. But it seems like the UFC isn't a fan of either of them, so I'm not surprised that we're seeing less of them. It's all inside baseball stuff, man. But I thought, if Mazzagatti is for real on Twitter, that is a pretty funny account that he's running. I've had a few good laughs. He's actually got a few good ones in the tank. But Kim Winslow is bereft of anything resembling humor, happiness, judgment, reason, logic, discernment. Anyway, people, this week on the Word in the Street podcast, I'm going to talk a little bit about UFC Austin. It's going down here in my city right here in Texas. November 22nd, this Saturday at the Frank Irwin Center. Tickets still available. Plenty of tickets available, actually. I tweeted out the seating chart and the tickets available the other day, and it was disappointing. It still remains the same today. Not a sold-out event by any means. You can literally purchase your tickets right now for $40.
It's at the Frank Irwin Center.
Yes, and choose your seats. $40. So if you got nothing to do, pick up a ticket right now. Pick up 3 or 4 tickets. Get some friends to come. Call up your old hoes. That bitch that you're about to delete from your phone contacts, but you're like, someday I might need to call this bitch, if the well ever runs dry, if I get desperate enough.
I used to date a Korean chick that you would have to come on her face and then she would have to masturbate for her to come.
Yeah, you just gotta, if you have a bitch like that in your phone, you struggle every day with deleting that. But I'm saying call him right now, tell him you get an extra ticket to the UFC. Go there. You will have a chance to meet me in person at UFC Austin.
Cocksucker.
Right, people? That's right. If you're at UFC Austin and you see somebody in a wheelchair, come say hi to me, people. Don't be intimidated by the wheelchair or by the fact that I am the word in the street, world famous. And if you do say hi to the dude in the wheelchair and the person appears to be severely confused and has no idea what you're talking about, sometimes that happens to me,
What if they try and take a picture with you?
No, there is no photography allowed whatsoever. This has to be I'm not even joking, people. If I see a camera come out, you're gonna lose the camera.
It's real easy to sneak a selfie in this new era of smartphones.
I have countermeasures. I'm not allowed to even talk about that. In my profession, though, there's certain... inside an arena, it's fairly easy to make sure that no sort of electronic signal goes off around you or is used in your proximity. It's easy to disable that sort of thing. But again, I can't talk about that. But there will be no photographs of me taken. I will not take a photo with you. No selfies. Don't even try it. Don't even ask. I will have security with me. Obviously, I've covered it in depth before. There are legitimate threats to my life and personal safety, security concerns. I almost didn't even go to UFC Austin. I wasn't even going to go. It was too tricky to work out.
Are you going to be offering autographs at least?
I might sign a thing or two. I will have my own Sharpie.
What if they want you to
handshakes.
sign something that's dark and they have like a silver Sharpie and you only have a dark colored Sharpie and they're like, yeah, you kind of have to use a silver Sharpie if it's going to show up on this UFC glove that I want you to sign.
Well, I'm just gonna have to politely turn that person away, and just never see. I only have enough room in my pocket for a cell phone to use in case of an emergency, a pocket-sized bottle of Purell, and one Sharpie. There ain't no other room in that pocket for two Sharpies. I do suffer from what you would call obsessive compulsive disorder. You know what? Enough about me. Let's cover some MMA news. What's going on these days, Jake? Actually, let me get the classic. Just because there is such a stark difference here, let me get the classic "How's the weather?" question out of the way here in this motherfucking podcast, because I know that Jake, you're in Denver, Colorado.
Deep shit.
Davey is in Guam. Let's get a weather report from both of you. Jake, well, how's it looking over there?
Well, a week ago we hit some record lows. It hit -14 at night. Just this really unseasonable polar storm came down, blasted us. The streets were covered in snow. We really couldn't drive anywhere for a couple days. We had to shovel all the snow out of our sidewalks. I mean, going outside even without gloves when it's -10 out, it's like your hands, your fingertips immediately just freeze up. It's bone dry here. It rarely ever rains. We have had a lot of storms though, but yeah, just a ton of snow. Just cold as shit. At least we aren't getting it as bad as Buffalo, who had 6.5 feet of snow. But yeah.
So there's snow on the ground right now.
Yeah, there's snow in my front yard currently. Most of it's melting. It has gotten a little milder, but for the sake of contrast, I'll say, yeah, it literally was a record low. I think it was -17 at one point last week Fahrenheit. Yeah, we've had snow on our front lawn the last week, and it's supposed to snow again in a few days. It's gonna be fun.
My God, man. Yeah, we got a cold blast here in Austin. It hit freezing once or twice, but of course, no snow or anything like that. In contrast, though, Davey Spears in Guam. Jake has snow on the ground. He's hitting -17.
I can't even go outside.
Davey, what's the weather looking like over there in Guam, sir?
It is hot over here in Guam. Well, I mean, take that back. It's probably around like 70, 75 over here. I mean, just enough to where, everybody could go out to the beaches and, get a tan. No gloves. No having to rub your fingertips or anything like that. Just have to worry about, putting on some sunscreen so you don't get, you don't get sunburned or anything like that. Gets pretty sweaty, being in Guam sometimes, but the weather's very great here. Yes,
with a little bit of and a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Get on up.
Girls in polka dot bikinis, all that.
Hell yeah,
that's what I'm talking about, man. It's good times. So there you go. On one side of the planet, you got snow. On the other, Davey's sitting there surrounded by bitches in bikinis. And I'm somewhere in the middle, people, just bringing you the word on the street. MMA news. What are the big topics this week? We got what's going on with people saying Duke Rufus is somehow overnight the worst thing that ever happened and getting people killed in the ring, and he's training people like he was running the Cobra Kai dojo. What's your take on this, people? Duke Rufus, what do you know? What do you hear? What do you say? Jake, man, have you been following this story?
Yeah, it all came out when Rose Namajunas came out with a bunch of screenshotted Facebook posts from people who I guess had commented on a Facebook status of hers or something, basically all telling stories about how Duke Duke Rufus and Rufus Sport is just a really unsafe place to train, how you have a lot of mismatched sparring going on, a lot of people getting knocked out, etc., etc. You had a Rufus Sport guy, I think, pass away recently. You know, this is.
Did you guys see that report? It's actually like more of a YouTube video that the newspaper released, investigating and researching exactly how this guy died in the ring. The Rufus.
How the hell did I miss this? This is actually breaking news to me. Oh fuck.
Oh really? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I'll tweet out the link, but yeah, there was.
Okay.
They released an investigative video report, put on YouTube, went viral. It breaks down. It actually shows you the fight footage round for round, and breaks down the signs that were missed. That this young man, this MMA fighter, was obviously concussed at the very least, suffering from some sort of, like, the fight should have been stopped multiple times. The video points out when and where and how the ref and doctor weren't even paying attention. The doctor's sitting there tweeting on his phone in between rounds instead of checking out the fighter.
Get the fuck out of here.
And this guy is he drops unconscious before the fight's even over, and he gets to the hospital. I think he was dead within hours, or maybe even just pronounced dead an hour later, something like that. But yeah, very tragic.
Wow.
But yeah, Jake, man, I mean, like, do you think, is Duke Rufus, like, the MMA gym really to fucking blame? These people that you sign up to, you go to an MMA gym.
Yeah.
You can't pull this, oh, they bullied me, they forced me to spar with this no.
But at the same time, you know,
you sign away from release.
It's hard to take either side here, because Thug Rose, you know she isn't fucking around. You know she's not just bringing up shit to start shit. Thug Rose really thinks that the things going on at Rufus Sport are very dangerous, and they might be. But I think that people are picking up what Rose is saying and twisting it into, oh, Rose is saying that Rufus is a murderer. Maybe not. I actually got a chance to meet Duke at Glory 16. He seems like a nice guy. All of the interviews I've seen and just hearing about him from other people, he does seem like a nice guy. Maybe he does run that gym a little bit over the top as far as people being able to spar and throw knockout punches and knockout kicks. Putting in mismatches, this and that. I just don't know enough, because obviously Rose is coming from a spot of she doesn't want other people to get hurt. Duke Rufus, I'm sure, is coming from a spot of, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm a good trainer. I'm not a fucking murderer. Like, how, and even if you're not calling me a murderer, it's my fucking gym. And if people want to train here, they can. If they don't have to. It is voluntary to train here. But, I don't know. It's really tricky. I'm not going to fall on either side of the fence until more stuff comes out. Luke Puke Thomas wrote this article where he was hardcore on Duke Rufus's side, and then adds in a little thing at the end like, oh, by the way, I've also worked with Duke Rufus at 4 Glory events, and we're good buddies. But that totally has no bearing on this article that I wrote that pretty much just protects him. But that aside, I don't know. It's very tricky, and I think it brings up a very interesting topic, which is, if you're running a gym and you're allowing people to get knocked out and you're allowing folks to spar very intensely, to what level are you liable if shit ends up happening to where a fighter fucking dies?
Yeah, it is a good question, but at the same time, how much? There's only so much blame you can put on the actual gym.
I'm about to eat this Blue Kudu 40 milligram cookies and cream edible. I'm going deep, people.
Hell yeah, people. You have to understand, anybody listening, the word in the street, it would not be even happening. It wouldn't be coming at you in your speakers, in your earphones, if it wasn't for the power of our only sponsor that we've ever had, marijuana, a plant. And that's for real people. It's for free.
I can taste it in there too. Jesus.
Yep. And God bless. We do partake. It is the green medicine.
With their hippin' and the hoppin' and the bippin' and the boppin'.
I use it medicinally for my arthritis and just the the pain of having my life, going through life, and women carelessly one after the other, just wrecking them. Davey, if you join an MMA gym, I mean, they make you sign a waiver.
Okay.
You should know what you're getting into. What do you think? It's fair for you to join an MMA gym, sign the waiver. Nobody's forcing you to ever do anything. Do you think it's fair to then complain that they're hitting you too hard? I mean, you're there to train mixed martial arts. What do you think, man?
I mean, you're joining a gym. I mean, if you're gonna make MMA a part of your life and be a part of UFC, RFA, or any amateur organizations, you're training to win. I mean, that's the bottom line. You're training to win. Now, I mean, has there been a lot of updates when it comes to concussions and stuff like that? Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, I mean, we can ask these other fighters too, like the old school fighters, about, how their camp was. And I could guarantee you, a lot of them, the old school gyms, like the Lions Den, Team Quest back in the day with, Randy Couture, Matt Lindland, Chael Sonnen, Chris Lieben, those guys. I bet all their gyms, they probably did the same thing that Duke Rufus's gym does too. I mean, it's just you train to win. Now, what happened with that guy that passed away? I mean, that it is clearly unfortunate, and there should have been precautions, to see if this guy, was fit to fight or whatever, or if he was coherent, to make sure that he could continue on. Or prior to that, obviously that didn't happen, and that puts Duke Rufus in a bad situation. At the same time, I mean, what goes on in gym stays in the gym too. So now you got I kind of read some of the stuff. I just went on Twitter while you guys were talking, so I kind of read some of the stuff on here. I guess Eric Schaefer, if you guys remember Eric the Red Schaefer, I guess he was mentioned in some of this too as well. And bottom line for me on this, man, I mean, if you go to a gym to train, you're going to the gym to train to win, and you keep whatever is happening in that gym inside the gym. But like I said, now with an unfortunate situation that happened with the guy dying, and that's it's Duke Rufus's camp. I don't know what to say about that one, man. He's caught some hot water on that one. But then other things too. I mean, I speculate on a lot of things too as well. This makes me think now is Anthony Pettis. The guy hasn't fought in a year, maybe more or less. It could just goes to show that maybe Duke Rufus is just going a little bit too hard in that camp. So all in all, I mean, just keep what I mean. If it didn't if it didn't happen to where someone dies, leave the shit in the camp.
Yeah, and it's important to note that this man did not die at the gym during some sort of sparring session. He died actually in combat, in the cage itself. Well, it was actually a ring, but
mental trauma from training could have directly led to that.
Well, but we can't say that is my point here. What we do know is that, right, but we don't that's the part that I don't understand. People already jumping on Duke Rufus. There hasn't been a full, conclusive investigation that actually. We don't know. It's the brain. We don't know what actually were the contributing factors. We don't. This guy, he wasn't a big name fighter. I doubt we're gonna document his entire history and his training regimen, or even his diet, or any previous injuries. Who knows? I just think it's a little too early to be blaming Duke Rufus when this guy didn't drop dead in the actual gym. It was at a fight. It was in combat. And also, call me harsh, I have every bit of sympathy for this man and his family, but let's be realistic here. If you are going to pursue MMA fighting, if you're going to take fights, you're going to actually do it. There is a risk of serious injury, and unfortunately, there is a risk of death. You might fucking die.
You're absolutely
You have to
right.
understand that. If you're getting into MMA right now, if you're just doing some jiu-jitsu tournaments right now, you're just thinking about getting into it, you want to be a fighter, you think it's fun or whatever, always remember, you could fucking die. Like, easily. Like, this guy, do you think
We're
he
looking
knew?
at you, yeah.
This guy had no clue that he was going to die. All right? But it happened. And it has been nothing short of a miracle. And yes, partly good safety, good doctors, good testing, but it's nothing short of a miracle that nobody's ever died in the UFC. Don't kid yourself for 1 second. It's going to happen eventually. Sooner or later, somebody's going to die from it.
It is, man. And it's 2014 now.
You're right, it's bound to happen. Yeah,
it will happen.
If all of
It's
us
inevitable.
follow MMA, like it's gone down in other organizations. If we all follow the UFC until 2050, and they keep doing a ton of shows, not only are we probably going to see it, we'll probably see it fucking multiple times.
Definitely. It's really just a miracle that it has not happened yet. Honestly, it should have. Statistically, it should have happened. And I'm expecting it anytime now. The backlash is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be one of the biggest
Gastelum
stories
versus
ever.
Woodley.
Yeah, rest in peace, Tyron. I already predicted that. We'll actually talk about it in a second. But yeah, people, let's be realistic. If you're fighting MMA, there's a chance you're gonna die. That's it. Like, there's no, wait a minute, we can put safety. No, if you're fighting MMA, there's always a chance that you're gonna fucking die.
And-
Just like if you were racing a car, you might crash and fucking die. That's the way it goes.
And I'm sort of playing devil's advocate because I'm sort of siding with Rose here because I don't think she would just be pulling all this out of nowhere. But at the same time, I'm not going to jump on Duke's case until more things have been released, because just the hearsay of a Facebook post, like, come on.
Exactly, it is hearsay. And, you don't see other Rufus fighters dropping dead. This appeared to be a fluke. Man, the man was fighting up until the moment he, just the bell rang and then he finally collapsed. I don't think anybody could have seen that coming or prevented it. Who knows? Is there some sort of advanced brain scan you could do prior to every fight? Maybe. Well, let's be realistic. Is that going to happen? No. It's MMA.
not anytime soon.
There's a risk, all right? Shit, I'm going to get in my car. I got in my car yesterday and my fucking brakes gave out as I was driving and approaching an intersection. I had to pull my handbrake and put it in motherfucking park. My life flashed before my eyes. My brakes gave out. I don't know if you guys can
Dana
even
White's
imagine what
trying to
it's
take
like.
you out.
Possibly, but it is the scariest feeling when you're driving your car normal. Everything's fine. You're approaching an intersection. You put your foot to go on the brake, and instead you hear the gas accelerating, and you're not stopping.
God.
Wow.
Yeah,
That could have been Eric Hawani. I mean, he is in Texas for the event, too. He could have just, sabotaged you on that one, man.
Very
that's
true.
true. UFC Austin is happening here in Texas, people. Let's talk about it real quick. They did the fighters are staying an hour away outside of Austin. All right. The UFC doesn't want these people anywhere near me or my influence, my corruption. Even though I'm a good guy, they know I am, but they know the party never stops with me, people. I'll have these, I was going to have a surprise guest over at my place just hanging out, chilling, but, once again, he's here. He's just chilling, having a smoke, having a beer, just listening along, watching me do the show here. But he can't come on the show. He can't talk.
Is he fighting at UFC Austin?
Yes. But he can't be like, I'm on the show or whatever. He's been muffled. You know what I'm saying? The UFC runs a tight ship, a tight organization here. But they are acting in the best interests of their fighters. So I understand that they're staying an hour away. some crazy resort. I won't reveal the actual location, but it's beautiful. I've been there numerous times myself whenever I need to get away, reflect. But yeah, even still though, I'm still meeting up with people left and right. You know, staffs in town, production, stars, fighters, women.
Tell Ariana I said hello.
Yeah, don't worry, man. Don't worry, dude. I'll make sure to send you a couple pics, man. I got your number, man. I'll text you, dude. Don't worry about it, man. I got you covered. Shout out. But yeah, I am looking forward to UFC Austin. Eve Edwards, my Thug Jitsu master, of course, going to defend the honor of the city. If he loses, it's going to be his last fight. Hopefully, that's not the case. Hopefully, I will witness the beginning of some sort of bizarre new Robbie Lawler, Mark Huntish title run. Eve Edwards never going to die, people.
Oh, yeah.
Joey B in the house, Joe Jitsu. Isaac Valley Flag, he won me over. I'm now a friend of his and a fan.
What is the status with you and Benji?
I am going to finalize the deal. I'm supposed to meet up with Megan Olivia at the weigh-ins tomorrow, just to go over the details, the final, the meet and greet, the handshake. I am going to purchase her dog, Benny. I've been in talks and negotiations with, well, his name's going to change to Benji. That's for damn sure. But I am going to buy.
Nice.
I am going to purchase the animal from her. We just need to, she needs to meet me and make sure that I'm not a psycho, that I'm not going to hurt the animal in any way. And that's fair, I guess. But I am going to purchase the dog for $173. That was the final price that we arrived on. He will come chipped and with a leash. And I'm told he has several, like those little T-shirts that they make for dogs. So those are coming with him. And I'm really excited. I don't know what dogs eat or if they use like the bathroom. I don't know. I'm going to find out. But shout out Megan Olivia. And
they don't eat and they don't use the bathroom.
I hope so, man. Because otherwise it ain't going to happen. But shout out Joseph B. I hope he wins. I don't even know who he's fighting, to be honest. And it's in my
Dustin
town.
Ortiz.
Oh, yeah. He's going to dust him.
What?
Other news. We got Chael Sonnen's newest podcast episode that dropped this week featured Phil Baroni in the first hour. It was actually a 2-hour-long podcast, twice as long as any other show that Chael's done. And
twice as nice, people.
Yep, he listened to the fans. That was the only complaint. That
shit was
40
good.
minutes to an hour. It was awesome. It was Phil Baroni followed by our friend, a close buddy of mine. He's been on the show a few times.
And I love how Chael said, like, yeah, front row Brian's impossible to get on any other show. Thinking like, damn, we got him on the word on the street a week ago, Chael. Keep up.
I was like, what the fuck was that? You're like, are you sure about that, Chael?
CP is just rubbing me a little bit.
I
man.
mean,
you know how it goes.
Brian, in Chael's defense, Brian really doesn't do many appearances.
You're damn right. We were lucky to have him.
He's a personal friend. I almost got in a fist fight on Brian's side at the MGM Grand. It was fucking crazy.
That's right. It was that Brian Smallwood guy, whatever the fuck his name is.
Bill Smallwood. Yep. I almost had to back Brian up. Shit was hilarious.
Yeah. Bill Smallwood, that asshole that told Chael he sucked at the Q&A, and then Chael. Real talk.
Funny enough, Kelvin choked him out before Tough.
That's right. Kelvin whooped his ass in one round, and within seconds. Kelvin was. It was a DM. All right. Shout out to KG. I hope to meet up with him also here in Austin. I'm going to take him all out to dinner, get him some beers or something. I don't know. I'm having a huge after party, people.
He's barely legal age.
Barely legal age.
That's true, man. God bless him, dude. Him and Luke Barnett. I don't even know for sure, but Luke Big
Barnett.
Slow also fighting on the Austin card. And I'm predicting it's like I'm not even bullshitting. I believe that like everybody that I'm rooting for on this Austin card is going to win. Luke, Isaac, Belly Flag, Eve Edwards, Joe Jitsu, and God, I'm totally blanking here. I don't have I don't have anything on the main event. Frankie Edgar, Cub Swanson. I really don't care to even make a prediction. It's just gonna be a fun fight to watch. That's how you people should view it as well. Entertainment. Bobby Green versus Barboza. I'm going for Bobby Green just because I watched his rant from earlier today that he did with MMA Junkie. Look it up. Go to MMAJunkie.com. Shout out to them every now and then. Check out the Bobby Green uncensored, uncut video. He goes on a rant for about 20 minutes about the media, about what's going on with his life, whether or not he's going to retire or not. He tweeted that this might be his last fight. And people are like, what the fuck? The Vegas odds flipped upside down. It was probably the worst tweet you could put out against yourself right before a fight.
Or the best tweet.
Yeah, it's basically this.
I was just about to say that. That could have been
my
the best
ass
tweet
whooped.
right there.
No, it's one of these. I'm gonna get my ass whooped just to let y'all know it's coming. That's what he was tweeting. That's what he should have just tweeted. All right, just keep it honest. But yeah, it's gonna be a great card. Look for me again. I will be the person in the wheelchair. I doubt they'll show me on the TV or anything like that. Because, like I said, I have a deal in place to not be photographed at the event at all. And I won't shake your hand, people. Don't even fucking try. Fucking sick. Oh, yeah, wait. We were talking about Chael Sonnen's podcast. The second guest was, of course, Front Row Brian, one of our friends. He tore apart Ariel Hawaii. And then Chael decided, you know what? I also have something to say about this. And he tried to be respectful and courteous at first, but then he just came out with the truth. He beefed and brawled with Ariel during the recording of his first podcast. Of course, he cut that out because Ariel's, well, a little bitch. Didn't want to see the light of day, him complaining and whining about From O'Brien and how, Chael, you can already hear it, man. Imagine Ariel trying to have an argument with somebody, with a man like Chael Sonnen, who if in person could literally squeeze the head and make it pop right off of his shoulders, just into the air, with like. I'm not even gonna make fun of his nose or whatever. I won't go. It's ridiculous to think of Ariel Hawaii engaging in any sort of argument. Imagine what he sounds like when he's angry and yelling, crying like a little baby. But yeah,
God, I would love to hear that. Actually,
Chael went on and exposed him about it. Davey, you listened to it, man. What did you think about the Front Row Brian segment on the Chael Sonnen podcast?
I thought it was good. I was actually kind of shocked that that they actually the UFC. I guess Chael was talking that the UFC actually fired Ariel Helwani, from the UFC. I forgot what card.
He got blackballed a little bit. 182, I think. Well, 172 or something.
Yeah. And then and out of nowhere, and they had beef too and stuff like that from O'Brien and Ariel Helwani. I mean, you can still look up their tweets. It's back to 2011, but from O'Brien actually kind of extended the olive branch to him, and he's like, hey, I mean, if you need to talk to anybody, I'm here. And Ariel just brushed him off, and and just pretty much went for there. But I like both segments of the Chael Sonnen podcast, actually. Phil Baroni, always entertaining. Always awesome to hear some great stories from the gridiron fighters of the UFC days, basically. And then just hearing Front Row Brian, on the show. I mean, always entertaining and stuff. it's funny, Chael Sonnen was talking about, like, Front Row Brian is Front Row Brian. Like, that man, when I was working for the UFC, would always get me in trouble because I'm associated with Front Row Brian. He's my friend. And he was also talking about, like, he's just him. Like, the guy actually was cussing me out in my own house. And usually, anybody would get pretty pissed about that. But I just know him. He's my friend, He did it in front of my wife. I was like, wow, that's pretty ballsy right there. But awesome segments. I liked both of them.
It was damn good. Jake, I know you. I don't think you've listened to the full portion of the podcast with Brian, but you yourself, I believe, have a hot take, or at least a story about Ariel Hawaii.
Yeah, we actually talked to Brian a couple weeks ago about Helwani. I'm like halfway through the show. I'm probably gonna listen to the rest of it tonight. But I do just have a quick take on Helwani, who I came around at UFC 167. I didn't come up to him personally, but I was standing in line for the open workouts at 167 with Alan. Alan got us a spot pretty far ahead in line, and we could see the doors and everything. And we could see the reporters who were standing next to a different set of doors, right next to the doors that the rest of us were going to go through. And it was Ariel, and I think Botter may have been there, and Kevin Ioli, and a few different people. And I saw a couple different fans because you could just walk up to them. I saw a couple different people walk up to Ariel, and he wasn't doing anything other than just standing around and texting. And I sort of looked at his interactions with fans, and it was just very forced, just like not really saying anything, just doing like a very forced smirk with his mouth closed and nodding, and sort of giving people who walked up to him the impression of, hey, get the fuck out of here. Which, come on, dude, you should be happy that you're recognizable and that people want to see you. And if you have fighters who are going to be gracious, fighters who are actually training, and they're going to be gracious and talk to fans, etc., Ariel, all you do is parrot shit that's told to you. Engage with a fan. I don't know.
That's exactly what Chael said to him.
Yeah, that is exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Parrot. Yeah, he said
I mean, that is all he is. I mean, I hate to sort of blow up his spot, but do you think Ariel, like Brian himself has broke a couple stories, but do you think Ariel is actually doing anything other than just parroting what he's told to fucking say? No.
It's almost like we have Chael Sonnen on the line with us, people.
Yeah, it is.
You definitely need to listen to the interview. You are a like mind with Mr. Sonnen, man. That's exactly what he's saying, man.
No, you actually are.
He's saying he's not a journalist.
I like to hear it. No, he
did. He said you're not a journalist. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no investigative reporting going on. From MMA fighting on the Ariel side.
Yeah, but one thing, actually, I just thought something. One thing I do want to add on that one, I just just remember something. One thing that Chael was saying is, during that whole rant that was never played, Chael was talking about how Ariel pretty much stabbed him in the back, after his whole the whole steroid scandal, basically, and he pretty much dissected everything that Chael did around that moment in time. And Chael was like, dude, we're friends. We're partners. I would never do that to my friend, even though as plain as day, if he's fucking wrong, and he gets caught red-handed, I'm still going to be there to defend my friend. And that's what you didn't do. I would never do that to you. And when you got fired from the UFC, I was in Brazil. I had to sneak a phone in to try to call you or to call somebody from the UFC to say, hey, try to get this guy back on the show. They didn't listen to me, but, that's what friends do. They try to, stick their necks out for you because that's loyalty right there. And that's something that Ariel Helwani apparently just doesn't have anymore.
Yep. It's,
they're all snakes.
Yeah, basically, the only time I ever really see Ariel doing any sort of investigating is when he's interviewing a fighter and he asks them what's specifically up with their facial hair. That seems to be his go-to investigative question when he ain't got nothing else.
That, and I love when these fucking snake reporters like Ariel, you fucking name it, just like the guy that tried to throw kind of a BS question at Nick Diaz at the Time Is Now presser. It's so lazy. This is all these fucking like.
What question? I don't remember.
No. It's just one type of question, which is you find a quote and you use it out of context of another fighter. And you take a clip of what another fighter said and said, oh, well, so-and-so, this guy you're going to be fighting said A, B, and C. What do you think about that? If you ever hear a reporter say, oh, so this other guy said this and that, what's your reaction? Just turn it off, because that is just clickbaiting bullshit. And when you hear us talk to Wayne Barrett, Aljamain Sterling, we're going to have Joe Schilling on soon. I'm never going to ask, so your next opponent, he said, and take it. If I'm using something in context and the opponent's actually saying a lot of incendiary things, then yeah, I might ask him. But you have these guys like Ariel who will take something completely out of context and be like, oh, well, what do you think about A, B, and C? And just try and stir shit up. And Nick Diaz has called Helwani on his bullshit before. I don't know. It's
he
just,
did back in Strikeforce, actually.
Yeah.
Right about that.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna try and dig it up. Yeah.
We can all agree that Ariel Helwani is approaching. He's already at it for me, but let's be honest, he's as close to a hack as you can get. Yeah, he has landed some good interviews that have like done themselves, and he does have dedication, and he is a very hardworking guy at what he does. I mean, he's good at what he does, but you can't really say that like he is
I do have a Nick
like
Diaz
a Clark
drop ready.
Kent of the Daily Planet. You know what I mean? He's just doing enough to be that guy. But you don't see him actually becoming a real human being very often with people. Like I said, like the extent of it is like, oh man, I have to bring up some sort of guy topic, and it's always what's up with your facial hair, and that gets a little weird now to me. All right, because like sometimes he won't even drop it. Like there was one interview, I wish I could remember who the fighter was. Ariel was like, so what's going on with the beard? I see you got the beard. It's
All
looking
of them.
good, man.
All of them, dude.
And the dude was literally like, I just haven't shaved this week, man. And Ariel was like, well, some sort of change going on here? Do we need to know about something? What's going on with the beard? And he's like, I just didn't shave this week, man.
Dude, wear some fancy boy shoes. I have the Nick Diaz quote also ready whenever you want to drop it.
Let's do it, man. Bail me out of this.
Drop it.
Because Ariel, like, he kills the entire show is what I'm saying. So, yeah, let's hear from somebody that actually makes better sense, even though he's stoned out of his goddamn mind. Let's hear that Nick Diaz drop. Fuck it.
I'm all right. I wasn't going to do this interview, but they told me I had to. So, I feel good. I'm ready to fight. And I don't know. I don't have much to say,
Something against me? Do you not like me, Nick?
I feel like you instigate fights quite a bit, but, that's...
Fights between the fighters?
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's your job, but where I come from, people like that get slapped.
There seems...
Fuck yeah!
I wish in that moment, Ariel had been, like, possessed by the spirit of Jim Rome, and he had just been like, oh yeah, Nick? Slap me then. Slap me. Call him Chris again.
Chris, yeah.
Chris.
Jim Everett, goddamn.
Oh, just imagine Nick Diaz slapping Ariel in the fucking face. How much money would you honestly pay right now? Right now.
I pay pay-per-view money for that one.
Yep.
$100.
I would lay down $69. $69, $70 pay-per-view.
I'd
In
pay
HD.
$50 just for a slap, $100 to see him like get his ass kicked.
If I wanted to, it would have to be the type of slap that you saw in that Subway video the other week.
Oh,
that
man,
dude
that
slaps
was
the
bad.
soul out of the woman.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Man.
Imagine this Nick Diaz Subway interview, a la Rampage interview with Ariel Helwani, but it ends with him slapping the soul out of Ariel's fucking face.
You don't give a
Slapping
fuck.
so hard that Ariel just like gets high from like all the THC that would just come off of Nick's hand.
He slaps him like right in the fucking nose to where it explodes like Elizabeth Smith's ear or whatever her fucking name was.
Leslie Smith. Ew.
Yeah, Leslie, Elizabeth, whatever, the fucking ear girl. And yeah, that was disgusting, people. What did you guys well, I became physically ill, but at the same time I wanted Jessica to win, so I was like happy at the same time. Like as I was puking, I was like cheering in between deep breaths. But like
What the fuck, dog?
what did you guys think of the ear explosion, man? It was gruesome and Mexico loved it.
I mean, the ear explosion, I've seen a few times, during a fight and stuff. I mean, it happened to James Thompson when he fought Kimbo Slice.
Yeah.
The Sakuraba one actually, I think, was worse back in the Dream era. I mean, his ear like fell off, and like you see, Marquis Sambonis, the guy that was fighting Sakuraba, he actually started to get nervous when he saw it. He's like, all right, and they're like, all right, fight's over, basically. But seeing that fight and seeing a squirt, it's like it's never it's like a normal thing that I've seen, watching fights. But it was the picture after the fight that was just gross. Like she had a huge crater in her ear. Like she had a huge crater, where the cauliflower is and stuff, and you just see a big hole in there. I'm like, God damn, that's disgusting.
Looks like someone just straight sawed her ear in half.
Or skull fucked her.
Hey,
I've skull fucked, or I may or may not have skull fucked a number of women, but their ears have never come off, man. I don't know what you're doing, Davey. I don't know how they roll in Guam, man.
Sorry, man. Had to say it. Hot take.
Shit. But you know what? Let's get out of the way. Jake and Davey, what is the worst, most disturbing thing you've ever seen in an MMA fight? If you had to make a call on one or two top.
Leg break.
Anderson Silva, Chris, yeah.
That was
Anderson.
bad. Yeah, that was bad.
Seeing Joe Warren get seeing him get like 7 concussions, getting his ass kicked by Pat Curran was really difficult to watch. It was difficult just this past Saturday to see Michael Chandler completely not in control of his consciousness, getting brutally knocked out by Will Brooks.
I would say the knockout that Josh Koscheck did in like the Fight for Troops, he fought. Forgot the name of the Japanese guy that he fought, but that was actually pretty scary right there. Alan would know.
Oh, I'm
definitely.
blanking on his name. Shit.
Yes, so am I. But basically, like if you want to try to find it, Jake, I'll explain it. While you're trying to find it. But basically,
Takayashi?
No, I can't remember.
Yoshiyuki Yoshida.
Yes, that guy right there.
That's gonna be my next guess.
Nice. But anyway, so like Koscheck hits him with a straight right, and like you see that guy just like go stiff, standing up, and then Koscheck just winds back another right and just lays him out, and you see him like go stiff, it's like he was falling like a tree, and you see him stiff for like 20 minutes. I was like, damn, is that guy fucking dead? But that actually was like one of the best cards I've seen, and as a matter of fact, that's where Corey Hill broke his leg. He broke his leg in that same event too.
Wow. Card was
and like,
fucked up then.
Yeah, and you couldn't find it on TV. Like I'm an MMA linker guy back in the day, like before Underground, and like I caught it on there, and like you could hear Joe Rogan scream to the ref, "Stop the fight! Stop the fight!" it was pretty. That one was pretty gruesome.
I'm looking now. UFC Fight for the Troops, December 10th, 2008, at the Crown Coliseum in Fayetteville, North Carolina. The last paragraph on this Wikipedia: the event resulted in an unusual number of serious injuries. Corey Hill, Razak Al Hassan, Brandon Wolf, Jonathan Goulet, Nate Longren, and Yoshiyuki Yoshida were all hospitalized for injuries sustained during their fights.
Hey, at least it was for the troops, man.
For the troops.
For the troops.
Hell yeah. Like I said, that was like the
Swick,
best card I've seen on TV so far.
Yeah,
God bless America, man.
Swick had a super hard knockout on Jonathan Goulet. Corey Hill broke his leg. Yoshida got fucked up. I remember Yoshida from getting brutally KO'd by Rumble Johnson, I think, a few fights later.
Yeah, well, like his debut, he actually put on a darts choke on War Machine and made him choke them out unconscious.
Yeah, that fucking anaconda he put on him.
Yeah.
Machine. We won't even get into him, but yeah, the sickest shit I ever seen. I have to say, probably, even though it didn't burst, like for some reason I'll never forget this. Mark Hominick's hematoma. That, was growing on his fucking head. That was disgusting. Cause he had
a dead fetus on that head.
Yeah, man. It was like a championship fight, wasn't it? It was a title fight.
Yeah.
Aldo. Yeah, and then oh god, they kept going. Nobody would stop it because it wasn't exploding, and like everybody was just waiting for that fucking head to explode.
like a plane crash, just waiting for it to happen.
People weren't even paying attention to the fight anymore. They were just waiting for that head to explode, and it didn't happen. Otherwise, we'd all be agreeing, like, conclusively that was the most disgusting thing.
What about when...
Next thing you know, you would see Shang Tsung just come out and be like, fatality.
Yep.
When Mir flipped over Big Nog and broke his fucking humerus, that was disgusting.
Oh. Yeah, that was a good
That
break.
was awesome, actually. I actually loved watching that fight.
Yeah, that guy Nog did it to himself, so you didn't really feel that bad. Because, like, everyone knew it was going to happen. He knew it was going to happen. He let it happen. You're just like, yeah, but at the same time, you saw that one coming. At least it wasn't one of these flash like. Yeah,
I mean, you're bringing up Frank Mir. I mean, what he did to Tim Sylvia's forearm.
Yeah, that was nasty too.
Yeah, that was a clean break too, and you could see it.
That was a bad one. Yep. But honorable mention: Uriah Hall's toe, the bone sticking out of the damn.
And he still won the fight.
Yep, he still whooped that ass. God bless him. We talked to him. He went into it. We talked to his coach. He went into but yeah, and then the ear thing. I gotta say that's a new one for me, man. Her ear was coming off her fucking head, and it was gushing blood. It was disgusting. But props to Jessica. She deserved to win. She needed that shit. You know what, people? There might be one more topic left, but it is a short show tonight. We do appreciate everybody tuning in. Anything else we haven't covered? Davey and Jake from the MMA podcast, now is the time to speak, or forever hold your peace. I know it's coming around quickly. We're already at the end, guys. And honestly,
Woodley, man.
It's a slow... Oh, yeah, that's right. Kelvin is going to take on Tyron Woodley at what?
That's gonna be
January?
a good
fight. What's the card?
It is going to be the co-main event at UFC 183, the UFC card featuring Anderson Silva and Nick Diaz. The co-main event is going to have your boy KG on it, and he's about to put another W in the record book, people.
Let's actually break that down a little bit. You think he wins this one? I mean, when they got it down, so I was like, ooh, he's going to fight a hitter. But I think he's got it, but let's hear it. Let's go around.
Speaking of hitters, I'm about to hit the old Bongski. Davey boy, lead us off.
I mean, Kevin Gastelum stocks up, so he's going up the ladder. I mean, when he fought Ellenberger, I didn't like. I wouldn't necessarily say I had a doubt that he was going to beat Ellenberger, but I knew he was gonna put a fight in, against him. Just knowing Ellenberger's style and like how he just keeps like rising up and down. So like, I knew that was going to be a good fight for Kelvin Gastelum, but going up against Tyron Woodley, I don't know. I mean, Tyron Woodley does have power, and at the same time, has Tyron Woodley kind of been going up and down when it comes to fighters? He has. I mean, he fought Jake Shields, lost by decision. Fought Rory. I think he fought. Yeah, he fought Rory Mack too, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think he lost by decision too. So I mean, when it comes to Tyron Woodley, though, I mean, the scary thing about him is how fast he could swing those punches to knock people out. I mean, we all see what he did to Jay Heron and especially Josh Koscheck, who we got done talking about. This is a test for Kelvin Gastelum because, I mean, Kelvin Gastelum is a wrestler, but same thing with Tyron Woodley. He ain't no slouch. So we'll see what happens. I mean, who do I see winning? If Kelvin can stay away from the bombs that Tyron Woodley, throws and uses his wrestling to take Tyron down and stuff, then I could see Kelvin winning by decision.
Decision. It's gonna go to the distance, according to our boy Davey. Jake, man, what do you think is actually gonna happen? You already revealed that you're rooting for KG, just like me.
Yeah.
What do you think is gonna actually play out?
Really quickly, I want to make a shout out to MMA Roasted. If you're not following him, and listen to his podcast, because this fucking reminds me.
Hell yeah.
Myself, Alan, Hunter, Yao, and Ross, we all went to his show at the LA Comedy Club at the Rio in Las Vegas, and it was the funniest shit ever. Woodley walks in like 15 minutes late, and Adam Hunter's on stage and goes, "Tyron, thank you for joining us. Don't worry, I'm not going to make the joke, about black folks always being late, etc., etc. I'm just glad you showed up, unlike you did in that fight against Rory McDonald." And everyone in the house lost their shit, dude. Forrest was there, Matt Hughes was there. There were a ton of fighters: Cub, Johnny Hendricks, Kelvin, Luke Barnett. Everyone just fucking lost it. And then it was funny because Woodley ended up sitting like 3 rows behind Jay Heron. And Adam Hunter's like, "Yeah, I bet Jay keeps checking behind him to make sure he doesn't do what he did to him in Strikeforce." Like, oh my god, dude, he was not pulling any punches. Tracy Lee was there. He made a bunch of jokes at her expense. It was just a really fun fucking night. And all of these jokes, are obviously in good fun, etc., etc. But for real, if Adam Hunter's in your town doing stand up, it was one of the funniest nights of stand up I've fucking seen. I've seen Louis C.K., Bill Burr, a bunch of killers. But back to the fight, Kelvin Gastelum and Tyron Woodley. I think this is a very bad style matchup for Woodley. That being said, I think Woodley will probably be a slight favorite. I think he deserves to be a slight favorite. But I haven't picked against Kelvin Gastelum since his first tough fight where I said he was going to win. You think I'm going to start picking against him now? Hell no, people. The guy is 23 years old, and he's in a division of a bunch of folks who are age 30 plus. He is the future. He's going to have the belt. Maybe not in 2015, but 2016, this guy's going to be a UFC champion. And like I said, I think the match against Woodley is very favorable toward Gastelum. So I'm going Gastelum all day. Just weather the first round storm. Gastelum's going to rock him and sub him out just like he did Jake Ellenberger in the second round. You heard it here first, people.
And I do have to agree with Jake, man. Obviously, at this point, I am severely biased, but there's no doubt the streak speaks for itself as far as Kelvin Gastelum goes. The dude has not been defeated in combat as of yet, ever in his entire life. And, yeah, he's a friend of mine, but guess what? My friend also happens to be fucking undefeated, people. So yeah, I'm gonna back his ass. He's gonna whoop Tyron Woodley's ass. Tyron had trouble with Nate Marquardt. Kelvin could whoop his ass. So therefore, he can whoop Tyron's ass. It is MMA math, but that's what's gonna happen. It's already happened, people. This is all a cycle that we're running now. Kelvin will become champion. There's no doubt in my mind. And when it does happen, I'll let you people know that I did predict it and call it the entire time. So did Jake. And now Davey jumping on the bandwagon, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
We're all in agreement, people. We've all seen it. We've all grown up with the man. Kelvin, definitely unstoppable. Tyron Woodley ain't going to scare him. Shit, man. Tyron Woodley's nearly 10 years older than KG. It's all over, people. The future is now. The time is now. And the time to wrap up this motherfucking podcast is now. I'll be at the UFC Austin weigh-ins tomorrow. Come say hi, people. I'll just don't be intimidated. Again, if I act weird, it's because of the wheelchair. And just say hi, get your picture with me, and tweet me the pictures that you take with me. Because I always want to see what I look like on camera, even though I said no camera. And also, it's important. I may or may not speak English. Jake from the MMA Podcast, where can people find you, contact you? When's your show going down? What's happening?
Visit us on Twitter at the MMA Podcast. We're aiming to have Joe Schilling on next week's show. He had a beautiful knockout against Melvin Manhoef back last week at at Bellator 131. Also a Glory Kickboxer. We're going to talk to him about whether he's looking more forward to kickboxing or MMA in the future. Lots more shit. Thanks for listening to The Word on the Street. Ramses, thanks for having me on. People, it's been an honor.
God bless you. Davey, you're the man. Thanks for coming on, joining us, being the third mic. You're always welcome anytime. Where can people talk to you and bother you and harass you?
you can find me on Twitter. That's DaveyBoy, DAVEI_BOI. This is The Word on the Street. This was my sophomore episode, and there will be plenty more to come. Jake from the MMA Podcast. Appreciate the shout outs and stuff like that. Ramses, appreciate the shout outs too. And that's pretty much it for me.
Hell yeah, people. And you can find me, The Aunt Jimmy Show, on Twitter. I'm wrecking shit like I was Bill Cosby at an open mic night. I already gave it out, right? The Aunt Jimmy Show. Like I said, I'll be at the weigh-ins tomorrow. I'll also be at UFC Austin. DM me, let me know what's going on. If you want to come out to the after party on Saturday night, also let me know. Chances are you won't ever hear any sort of reply from me whatsoever unless you fit the description. We all know what I'm talking about, people. Bitches, let me know where it's at up in Austin, representing. This is my city. The fights are coming to my town. You're damn right I'm going to be representing and bringing you the word on the street. See you next time at the dojo.
Take me through it. Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a star receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you gon' get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm gonna set it for you real quick.